SevereMMA.com at Team Rhino. An unfamiliar face here today in Joe McColgan, up for a few rounds with Paul Redmond. Joe, we've been waiting to hear your opponent. It's getting dangerously close.
Yeah.
Tell me how frustrated you are with this situation at the moment.
It's very difficult. I'm sitting here at 82 kilos, due to fight a lightweight. That's a 12 kilo cut. I need to have a name. I need to have a face to focus on to help me get through the diet and the training. So it's very difficult to focus, but I'm getting through it. And it's, as you say, it's very frustrating. I want to fight, and with 3 weeks to go, am I going to get a fight? Right now I don't know. I mean, they're going through. Graham texts me all these guys, and I mean, these are guys who are in the top 20 in the UK. I'm saying yes to all of them, and they're all saying no. At this stage, I must be about 13, 14 and 0 against top 20 opponents in the UK. I think I deserve it. You could give me a title shot against Fishgold, with that kind of record. So, if no one wants to fight me, then I'll fight Fishgold in Liverpool in the Arena. Well, so I'll fight anyone.
The situation is a weird one because you're professionally only 2-0. And then, you've got these guys with really, really significant records on the European scene saying no. In a way, I can understand them saying, like, I don't want to risk this against a guy who's 2-0. But there's no one that's in the same kind of emerging pro ranks as yourself that seems to be willing to fight you either. Do you think that's the case?
I don't know. I don't know why they're turning me down. Are they looking at my last fight and thinking, well, look, this guy did that to Peter Queally. Could he do that to me? And they're a wee bit, it's a risky fight, as in he might beat me, or is it, I don't want to take the risk of losing to a 2-0 fighter. I don't know what it is. They're not taking it anyway, and that's the bottom line. I think I'm in a difficult position in that guys at my level of what, like 2-0, 3-0, guys who are starting out, they're not wanting to take the fight, and the guys at Peter Queally's level aren't wanting to take the fight. I was actually thinking about Queally, and I was thinking, fuck, I owe a lot to Peter Queally. Hats off to him. He literally is not afraid to risk what he have. Look what he did. He took that fight against a 1-0 pro when he had it all but signed with the UFC. People should be taking a leaf out of his book and taking fights. Let's not pad records. Just let's take who's the best fighter, and that's what you want. That's what this game's about.
Absolutely.
Beat the best. And if you're trying to get into the UFC and you're dodging fights, guys who have a 2-0 record, then fuck, you're not meant to be in the UFC. That's not the right attitude.
Absolutely. You went to college. You have a full-time job, like, and you're up in Dublin from Belfast today. Like, I mean, does this kind of stress to you the importance of how, like, to go and get that education and get a full-time job? Because really, you've always kind of said you can't rely on this, and now you're in a situation like you're kind of like a prime example of how you can't rely on it at the moment. Like, how long ago was the Peter Queally fight?
The Peter Queally's fight was in September, and
sorry.
Oh Jesus! What kind of interview is this?
I forgot.
The Peter Queally fight was in September. I took a month off, and then ever since I've been looking for a fight. So, if all these guys are putting their eggs all into the one basket of MMA, like leaving school in 5th year or whatever it is in the south, that's the wrong move. This isn't where you get your salary. This isn't where you make a living. This is just this is a game. Get your education, get a job. You can do both. Like, I'm down here in Dublin training with the best guys in Ireland, in my opinion. And I just worked on an 8-hour shift up in Belfast.
It's incredible.
And I trained in the morning as well. So there's me. I've trained twice today, and I travelled the length and breadth of the country and worked a shift, and I'm feeling great right now.
And you still don't have a fight?
Oh, I still don't have a fight
You
now.
is this really kind of when you look at this Cage Warriors card, there's no SBG fighters as of yet. You're the SBG hunter. Obviously, as I told you before, when internationally that's a big thing that will grab people. Yeah. Obviously, SBG is one of the most famous gyms coming out of Europe at the moment. Do you feel like that would be the ideal situation if you were put in against an SBG guy? I know Richard Queally and Steve Owens were talking about fights here.
Yeah.
Do you know if Cage Warriors have reached out to them, or are they contracted to BAMA, or is it just...
I hear these people calling me out, and then whenever I'm looking for a fight, they call me out after they finish their fight when they're high on that adrenaline, and then I look for a fight and I don't have anyone. So what does that tell you? Do they actually want to fight me? I'm willing to fight the C team if John Kavanagh wants to put out the C team. That's fine by me. I just want to fight. I don't care if it's from SBG or from around the corner. I just want someone to step in the cage with me and allow me to progress my career. The gym name doesn't matter to me.
It's an incredibly dangerous situation, though, for for a guy who's 2-0 to be taking this road where you're taking on European, like top tier European fighters over and over again. Yeah. Ideally, is that what you want to do, or would you prefer someone like?
I don't want. I'm not here to take steps back. I took a risk with Peter Queally. It paid off. Now let me get the rewards from that. Let me fight those big name fighters. Like just off the top of my head, there was one guy who was on an 8-fight win streak. He's from Belgium. I said yes instantly to him. His last loss was against a 14-0 Russian, and it was a close fight. He's a top level guy. I said yes to him instantly, no fear or anything. And then there was another guy who recently fought for the Cage Warriors #1 contender spot. I said yes to him instantly. And then both those boys turned me down, and they're just getting 3-0 guys from Edinburgh or SBG Scotland turn me down. Everyone's turning me down. No one wants to take the fight. So I actually don't know what your question was.
say March 4th. There's no fight there for you. How crushing would that be for you? Having signed for Cage Warriors because it seemed that there wasn't any matchups for you.
Well, signed with IFM. I'm not signed directly with Cage Warriors. I can fight for whoever I want.
Right.
I just want to fight on the Cage Warriors brand. So say March 4th I don't get a fight, will I be upset? Yeah, I'll be disappointed, but there's more shows about. If Cage Warriors can't get me a show, then can't get me a fight on March 4th, I'm sure they'll get me one in April. I actually texted Graham and said, listen, I don't want you to rush getting me an opponent here. I want you to get me the right opponent to get me to the next level. And if that means taking a fight on April, then so be it. You know what? The card will lose out on March 4th if I'm not on it. I think that I'll draw in a lot of fans. It's a lot of the mutual fans who aren't there to support one particular fighter. They'll have watched me fighting Peter Queally in the Bama fight, and they'll look at that fight and think, I want to watch him again. You know, I don't know anyone else fighting on that show, but I'll pay 15 quid to watch him fight again. So I think the card will lose out if I'm not on it. Cage Warriors will lose out if I'm not on it, but I won't lose out. I'll fight on another show on another day.
If you do fight on March 4th, is Fishgold the first name you're calling out? Like, is that the guy? You know, you've already said.
Yeah, of course. Like, why do I need to wait? Why do I need to have a record to get into the UFC? Why do I need a record to fight for the Cage Warriors Lightweight Championship? I don't. I beat the #1 guy. Someone consider him one of the top fighters in Europe at welterweight, outside of the UFC, and I beat him fair and square, albeit with 2 fights under my belt. If I beat another guy at lightweight, you know. And if he's one of the top 20 UK guys, then why not give me the title shot? Why do I have to go around beating other guys just to essentially just build up a record to fight? You know, when I'm ready to fight now, I know I'm ready. I think Graham knows I'm ready. So yeah, if they give me the fight March 4th, if I come out unscathed, I'll be looking for that Cage Warriors title, whether it's in April in the Echo Arena or in June if they ever come to Belfast, which I hear they might. So
in June.
Yeah. That's what I hear. Speaking
of Cage Warriors titles, a lot of people have been waiting for Karl Moore to have this launch pad. You know, it's a main event. He's fighting for Michael Bisping's former title. He told me that he has eyes on both the heavyweight and light heavyweight titles. You've told me that there's members of your gym that nearly fear sparring sessions worse than they do fear fights when Karl's involved. Is that true?
Absolutely. I dread it. I can barely concentrate and work thinking about going in and sparring him, and he's taking me around, you know. But I think the bigger guys are more around his weight. I mean, we were talking about it going, Jesus Christ, I can't even eat thinking about this here. The man is an animal. There's no one, and I mean no one, UK, Europe, worldwide, that is going to be able to tame this beast. He's a specimen. He moves like a featherweight and he hits like a heavyweight. There's going to be no stopping him. If he can just get the fights, and if he can get a good run going, and I'm not talking about getting the fight, getting the knockout and taking a long time off. I'm talking about getting the head down and taking these fights consistently. He'll be up there contending for the UFC title. Never mind Cage Warriors. He is destined for great things, and this Cage Warriors title is gonna be the catalyst. He's gonna go for great things after this, you know.
Do you think, just on what you were saying earlier, you were kind of saying, what's the point in me fighting fights over here? I have a feeling that Karl, there's not an awful lot of competition left for in Europe, just at that weight for Karl, at light heavyweight. So is it really, is it better for him to get into them kind of big international promotions as soon as possible, do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, he's found it difficult to get a fight, and he should not be finding this difficult to get a fight. It's a title fight on one of the biggest shows in Europe. People should be chasing after that. People should be like, I'll take it. No one wants it, right? So that just shows you how small the talent pool is for light heavyweights in Europe, or even heavyweights. So I think Cage Warriors might want him to stick around, but again, you know, the UFC after this fight, I think the UFC are going to come and pick him up, and it's at the right time for Karl. He's not even in his peak, but he's just, you know, he's beaten everyone that he needs to beat. Let's put him against the top guys in the world in the premier organisation of the UFC. Let's get it going. He needs it.
Right, well, I appreciate it, Joe. Best of luck, and I hope you get a fight announced soon.
Thank you.
All the best.
Cheers.